Does your perspective change the way you view something, and does it impact the conclusions you arrive at, and how? Hello and welcome. Today's insight is mainly going to be about perspective and hues. Okay, you're like, huh? But I'm gonna tell you why. See this lion? Notice my lipstick? They kind of match. The hues kind of match, but in reality, these are two, actually three separate colors. This is like orange and like different hues of orange. As you can see, the mane is one color, the body is another. And my lipstick today, I put one tone of lip gloss. Then I was like, or lip stain. And I'm like, oh my God, this is too bright. Right? And I'm like, okay, I have to tame it down a little. So I put in a darker hue on it. And then I had to like make sure that I didn't go out of the lines and whatnot. So, see, perspectives and hues. So you don't necessarily see the entirety of it, entirety of the lighting, the wall color, all of it. You don't see it. All you see is the finished product, right? But it is up to me, the creator, to think of all these things and make it more palatable and less bright or less invasive to your eyes. I mean, from a person who is sensitive to input, I mean, to say like the information that you get, because I am my senses are more not delicate, but more, they affect me more. My senses affect me more. So when it's too bright, when it's too much color, when there's too much happening, when there's too much movement, too much sound, too much noise, all of it. Sound is noise, but maybe sometimes. But what I mean to say, when there's sound, like, and it's not that melodic. It's like walking through a forest. It's very melodic, right? Instead, while I was walking through a construction site, is somewhat, it's just too much, right? Now, so what is the difference in perspective? Now, what this can bring me, well, I know for me, okay, with me being, my senses being more, what affect me more, I need to work on it, because my main objective is to become a mother. Now, what happens with kids? They're sensory overload. They're like, mom, 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 mom. And there's noise coming from everywhere. I have to make sure that I can like manage everything. I need to be able to do that while cooking and cleaning and making sure that everything's in its place. So it's a lot. And so as much as having an overload of information is a lot, it also shows me where I need to work on next, what I need to work on to make sure that, I can accomplish my set goals and be able to come out of it better than before. I hope that makes sense. So, as much as, first of all, perspective, you knowing what I told you guys about the fact that I get sensory overload, and I just want to make sure that my lipstick is not too bright for people who themselves are sensitive to, their senses are sensitive, if that makes sense. That gives you a perspective. Now, a hue, different hues impact people differently. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be just a color. It could also be like a hue of music. I'm using the word hue a lot, but in actuality, it's just the mood that the music sets, the mood that the lighting sets, the mood that the colors set, but the hue will have a different impact on people. So I said that so that you can put it into perspective and be like, okay, so if the hue of a color will impact people differently, will my different moods impact people differently? And what mood can I set for myself so that I can interact better with people and get better results from those interactions? I hope that makes sense. So as much as people put more importance on the external reality that surrounds us and how that impacts us, we also have to make sure that we, from our perspective, from our cognition, from the way that we think, we also impact the situation greatly, because we are very powerful creators. And so if you want to make sure that you are bringing the right mood to the table, the right perspective to the table, the right thoughts to the table, the right actions to the table, make sure that you ask yourself, what am I putting forward? What perspective is the person in front of me seeing of me? Am I doing the best I can in the moment to get the wanted result? Or am I actually working not so well for myself? I hope that makes sense. If not, ask questions and it'll be my pleasure to answer. So, have you ever started something not completely cognizant or knowing of what it is that you are actually having as an impact on the people around you? So is there something you can do better, or is there something that you need to think about before going into conversation to have the best outcome in how you interact with others and how they interact back with you? It's a co-creation. Never forget. A conversation is a co-creation. And so you want to make sure that you put the people that you're talking with in the right headspace so that they themselves can come back and impact you from the right perspective as well, so that you can enjoy the conversation as much as they can. And it could be like a dance instead of a sparring instead of sparring with each other, or sparring, I don't know if that's the correct word, but instead of it being a jousting game where you poke each other with sticks, it's more like a dance where you both flow and enjoy the interaction. I hope that makes sense. If not, ask questions and it'll be my pleasure to answer. So, what can you do to make your conversations a little more lively and interesting? Let me know.